Hey viewers, welcome to this month's channel update. Today I have a special guest. I have TIBCO's Chief Analytics Officer, Michael O'Connell. And Michael, you just got back from reInvent in Vegas, right?
That's right, yeah.
So I heard there was a big crowd there, 65,000 people. The TIBCO booths were really busy, all kinds of cool stuff happening there. And you gave a presentation there as well. You can tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We gave a presentation on hot paths to anomaly detection with TIBCO data science, Spotfire, and streaming.
Okay. And you were joined with Stephen Hillian, right?
That's right, yeah. We did 3 demonstrations. We firstly looked at historical data and built out a classification model for understanding patterns and anomalies on wafer maps in the high-tech manufacturing area. We then took those machine learning models and put them onto an event stream, data fed through AWS Kinesis into TIBCO streaming to highlight the wafers as they were coming through an event stream and classify them into different buckets of either known problems or surfacing problems. And then we went under the hood of that and figured out the root cause of which sensor measurements were responsible for those patterns that were emerging.
Well, I was looking at the recording of this. It's really interesting. So you're talking about actually classifying these anomalies in real time. So the user is able to actually see the wafers as they're coming through the manufacturing process, monitor those anomalies all in real time. And this is all working on the cloud as well, right?
That's right, yeah. With the AWS, the training of the models goes through AWS EMR, S3 type data structures, and then the deployment on the event stream. And picking up patterns like the wafer manufacturing is kind of messy, and you see things like the ring of fire pattern where the yield out to the edge of the wafer was starting to drop off. And that can be a really high value problem to solve in a manufacturing context. But the innovation that we did on the data science side combined with the streaming part and then going under the hood to find the responsible variables, sensor traces, and so on related to the anomalies. So we gave those 3 demonstrations, and it's part of a broader collection of work we're doing in anomaly detection at TIBCO.
It sounds like there's just tons of stuff in this presentation that's all very highly relevant. I'm sure very exciting for our users. We see that anomaly detection is a very popular topic. We get a lot of questions about it. And so what I'm going to do is actually post the link to the video recording in the video description. So make sure and check that out. There'll be Michael O'Connell and Stephen Hillian's reInvent presentation. But you were also mentioning about the larger body of work we have on anomaly detection. I know we just got a new solutions page on the TIBCO website that has multiple anomaly detection assets. Why don't you talk a little bit about that and some of your favorite assets?
Sure. Yeah, and again, the sweet spot is to not just do the anomaly detection, but to do the anomaly analysis. So understanding a way to detect the anomalies and incidents, and then unpack that to understand the root cause around that and put it on the event stream so that you can monitor it in real time. So analysis on historical data, monitoring, and then root cause analysis, combining TIBCO data science with Spotfire and streaming components. So you'll see examples of that on this new solutions site. There's also a community site that features some of the most interesting aspects of it. So there's a community site dedicated to our TensorFlow, deep learning models that I mentioned, the autoencoders. There's a number of community sites on templates about how to invoke this from Python or R code from right inside a Spotfire. And there's a number of accelerators that combine the visual analytics, data science, and streaming to get you started. And anomaly detection, one of the reasons we focused on it, it's everywhere. I mean, you want to be able to, I've mentioned high-tech manufacturing today and IoT, that's a big area. But also, monitoring financial transactions for anti-money laundering or just transaction-based fraud. You're often looking for multivariate outliers, with the different dimensions of the transaction being the dimensions of that particular problem. So you'll see all kinds of stuff on the community site for different industry applications. IoT, financial services are being big ones, but there's anomalies that you want to detect and more importantly analyze and monitor and correct. That's the part where the TIBCO technologies comes really strong, as not just the detection, the monitoring, the analysis, the correction, the closed loop continuous analytics that we have at TIBCO.
Yeah, and you mentioned the exchange and the templates, and that's something we've talked about a bit on our quick tip videos. And I really want to encourage users, if if you're looking at expanding your analytics, finding some ways to get going quickly and some advanced machine learning, some of the things Michael talked about with anomaly detection, definitely check out the Exchange. I'll put a link to the Exchange templates Michael mentioned. I'll put that also in the video description for you. We have geoanalytics templates. We have gradient boosting templates. We have extensions for working with different TIBCO data science products and accelerators, risk management, fraud detection.
And more, Neil, we're starting to write these up as in our tech blog, right? Maybe you can tell the readers, the listeners, a little bit about our tech blog. I'm super excited about that because it gives us an outlet to not just have a demo or video or webinar, whatever else, but to actually go under the hood a little bit and write it up. And I also was talking to you yesterday about we've now got a live cloud-based set of models and so on that people can go from the blog now and drill into, start playing around with the data too, right? So why don't you tell us a bit about both the blog and this new demo gallery?
That's right. So if you go to the community page, up at the top there will be a little tab for blog, and if you go there, it's a technical blog. Technical blog, and it's primarily written by data scientists at TIBCO on things that we find really interesting, some stuff we're working on. In particular, recently, Colin Gray on the data science team did a great blog post on image recognition in Spotfire, and this was using cloud services. And he also presented this as a recent Dr. Spotfire session where he was using image recognition from the cloud as well as text analytics, and he kind of showed a bit of the Python code behind the scenes and then wrote a blog post about it. So I'll put a link to that in the description. And then another one I want to point out, it's been really hot lately. Peter Shaw, another data scientist, he's a total wizard with Spotfire and Tear and R, and he wrote a great post on how you can kind of streamline your debugging process, your data function development process, and there's all kinds of good tips in there. I've heard really great feedback from the community, so if you are writing data functions, you are using R and Tear, definitely check out that blog post.
Yeah, and I'm excited also, Neil, the product's now supporting Python directly from TIBCO Data Science and from Spotfire through the data function, TIBCO Data Science through the inbuilt notebook, which you can drag right onto the visual canvas. And calling out, we just got back from reInvent, so AWS is on my mind, but calling into that Boto 3 Python SDK directly from TIBCO Data Science and Spotfire to set up Amazon services, whether you're setting up a cluster to push out a TensorFlow job, run that distributed on AWS and bring back the results into Spotfire and TIBCO Data Science. It allows you to really do a highly visual analysis, interactive. You talked about image recognition. There's in Colin's article, he talks about how to go out through Boto 3, invoke an image recognition algorithm, whether it's pre-trained or train your own or some hybrid that AWS is now getting into, where you can label your own data and add that onto a pre-trained model. But inside of Spotfire, with its visual environment, you can run those as services and just feed right into an interactive visual analysis of it. So it's like the end user sees the visual scatter plot, bar chart, whatever, a visual analytics application updating in real time based on the classification or image analysis that's occurring through the connection through Boto 3 into an Amazon service that is feeding back into Spotfire or TIBCO Data Science, and you basically can analyze real-time video feeds and do image recognition and show what's going on in some part of your operation. It's really kind of cool the way we've combined the TIBCO highly visual analytics from Spotfire and Data Science with the services that you can get to through, say, AWS Boto 3. It's an amazing experience.
Right. And I think we're all looking at ways to move faster, solve problems quicker, and being able to leverage the algorithms and the services that are already built for image recognition, text analytics, things of that nature that are very common. Being able to leverage those that are already built for you by Google Cloud, by AWS, by Microsoft Azure, because we can connect to all three of those, correct? So you can just tap into those services and not have to be writing all the code yourself to be developing the training and everything behind the scenes.
So our highly visual analytics at Spotfire and our highly visual data science canvas and workflow collaborative environment become a simple interface for people to collaborate and see things live and through batch analyses. And in the back end, the cloud providers are providing, as Neil mentioned, advanced algorithms for image analysis, video analysis, text, voice. Those are some areas that the big three cloud vendors have focused on, and we're leveraging those rather than through coding constructs. Solely, we now have a visual environment that combines that with coding to surface this stuff in a highly consumable way.
Right. IoT, anomaly detection, real-time streaming. All really exciting things happening right now. Thanks for joining us today, Michael.
Absolutely.
Viewers, thanks for watching, and
go check out the community sites and websites, and the reInvent presentation I did with Stephen is a real fun one. So check it out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.